this kid.
Baby?
Take about a spoon of cocoa
I'm gonna throw it to you, okay?
Put it in a spread small sieve. You shake it.
Welcome, Slayer Nation. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. You know, it's a phenomenal time at George the Giant Slayer, and it's only getting better for all of us. The war for Middle-earth has begun, and Amazon is bleeding all over the Rings of Power. Their series is now a prime example, the gold standard for death by 1,000 cuts. Well, my friends, let's say hello to cut 1001. Amazon just cannot help themselves. Regardless of how secretive they are, how tight-lipped, how hard they keep everything under wraps, there are always facts to follow. And I've been tracking the telltale trail right to the ground of this corrupt production. I found some things, unearthed some secrets that you're going to enjoy. And I'm going to be sharing them with you over the next few videos, over the next few weeks. But before we get into that, if this is your first time to the channel, I invite you, take a moment, it's just a minute, and push the subscribe button down below and join the fun and conversation at George the Giant Slayer. Now, y'all know the two showrunners, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. They talk about how much they respect Tolkien, how much they honor the legendarium. They even told, as the two big bosses of this series, they boasted to Vanity Fair saying, we have the experience. As acolytes, apprentices under lens flare, J.J. Abrams, they know a little bit of Hebrew poetry. They've studied religious philosophy, some Shakespeare and Mormonism, and they believe that gives them the requisite tools, the knowledge to write the novel Tolkien never wrote and bring it to life. Well, I'm going to paint for you a broader picture of what goes on behind the scenes. So while I was digging, every fact that I kept discovering just seemed to continue to point that they were stooped in stupidity, that this production and the philosophy embraced by the showrunners was nothing but West Coast woke. So I have some casting news for you. This happened a little while back, but it goes to show you exactly what's going on, how the production is handled. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly who's calling the shots and why. So now I want to share with you the casting from BGT Agency. This is a casting call sheet that went out for extras, and then it went out for speaking roles. Here it is. Amazon's Lord of the Rings TV series is casting background actors. According to recent casting calls, the show is looking for hairy people and actors with other character traits. So it's going to go on, and it's going to tell us now about the entire series. It's going to say it's produced by these two showrunners. It's got executive producers here. We've cast already these people. We already know all that information. Though there is one fun tidbit. It does bring up that lady who used to work for Amazon, remember? Sharon Quota, who's now on the board of the Racket Group, who runs a few magazines and newspapers. Remember I said that's the little spider that Amazon sends out all over the world. And they go and they sit on these boards and they run these newspapers, weaving their threads in order to maintain control of the narrative. Well, she's involved in Rings of Power. Here's what BGT said they were looking for. Tell me how much respect they have for Tolkien. Lord of the Rings casting call. Extras casting call. Urgent casting. Funky looking people needed. If you are with BGT, do not apply. So this goes on to tell us that you've already been submitted. Tag a friend who might fit the role. I am now urgently needing to submit people for a production. Please read on. Do you have an overbite? Face burns, long skinny limbs, deep cheekbones, lines on your face, acne scars, ears that stick out, bulbous or interesting noses, small eyes, big eyes, skinny faces, missing bones. Do you look unusual? Ages from 18 to 65, male and female, any ethnicity. Please email me now. This is urgent. I need a current clear photo of your face with no makeup with your phone number. Does that sound a little peculiar? It sounds to me more like they're casting for a P.T. Barnum freak show, some kind of like carnival sideshow.
Hello, Sarah Valentine here from BGT. We are looking for short people, really short, tight, tiny little people, character faces. Do you have a few wrinkles? Have you been out in that sunshine? Has your face got a little bit like, oh, too much sunshine, I love the sun, I look like a leather handbag? So wrinkles, teeth missing, wonky eye, no eye, glass eye, can you take your eye out? Have you got a burn scar? Have you got limbs missing? You know, if you're an amputee, do you have one leg? Androgynous men and women, so sort of like David Bowie, hairy people. Have you got a lot of hair? If you're really short and little, that's also really good. The Latinos, the Mexicans, South America. Hola, we need to have that sort of lovely olive skin, dark hair, dark eyebrows. Redheads, all ages, shapes and sorts. White hair, white hair. Yeah, so really, tiny people of the world, we are calling you.
This goes back to that whole new Hollywood trend. You know, the quota casting, where it's like, we don't need actors anymore. We need people who actually have the quote unquote lived in experience of the characters we want them to portray. This isn't old fashioned Hollywood. So I started wondering, really, why were these two showrunners picked? Are they the ones calling the shots? I'm like, you know, they're untested, they're untried. Would they really have that much of a say? And you're about to find out that they actually don't. All they are push button serfs. I mean, they make a lot more money, but they're just following the orders. And it tells us that Amazon never wanted to have any director or any producers with any kind of heavyweight name. They're not going to get George Lucas or Ridley Scott or Denis Villeneuve, because those guys, when they would be handed a script and handed a whole bunch of rules, which you're about to see, they'd say, get the hell out of here. I'm not doing this. I have a voice. I have some artistic respectability, and I'm going to apply my eye in the way I see it. So now, this is why we have seen so many peculiar decisions in the Rings of Power. They have started since 2020, really enforcing it in 2021, what they call their D.E.I policies. That's their diversity, equity, and inclusion policy. It used to really be called the D.I.E, but someone realized in marketing that that's really bad public relations to call it D.I.E. Here is one of their out of 100 policies, what they call their inclusion policies for how to cast roles. Amazon Studios is committed to authentic portrayals. It is our intention, whenever possible, to cast actors in a role whose identity aligns with the identity of the character they will be playing, by gender, gender identity, nationality, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and disability. And in particular, when the character is a member of an underrepresented group or identity, to reduce invisibility in entertainment and where the story allows. We aim to include one character from each of the following categories for speaking roles of any size, and at a minimum of 50% of the total of these should be women. 1, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or gender nonconforming, non-binary. 2, person with a disability. And 3, regionally underrepresented racial, ethnic, cultural groups, e.g. in the U.S., 3 of the following: Black, Latinx, Indigenous, Middle Eastern, North African, or Asian, Pacific Islander, or multiracial. A single character can fulfill one or more of these identities. Now, are you seeing the picture a little more clearly? This isn't about the Lord of the Rings and the Rings of Power. This has nothing to do with Tolkien. Amazon purchased those rights so they could slap on Tolkien's label onto everything that they own and say, look, you know, we used to be the book barons of America. Now we're the middlemen to the world. And now we have our own studio. See, Tolkien gives them an air of credibility so they can walk around with all the other studio chiefs in Hollywood and go, see, look at us. You know, I'm just like you, maybe even a little bit better. But it doesn't matter. Over the next few videos, we're going to do a deep dive and see exactly how they've been casting. I have unearthed some things that you are going to enjoy, my friends. But I just wanted to give you a little hint, a little peek behind the scenes. And I don't want you to take this as negative matter. You're going to say, look what they did. It's ridiculous. This actually tells us that this series is going to be a mess. Unless Amazon is has put together the biggest giant troll job in history, this series is going to crash and burn. You know, for a couple episodes, maybe 3, the normies are going to go along, but they're going to sense something is off. They're going to sense something is wrong. And with all the videos we put out and so many others put out, they're going to know with the information at hand that this production is a lie. It is not faithfully reproducing any of Tolkien's legendarium. So I want you to take all these facts and have a little bit of fun with it. Poke fun at Amazon, ridicule them a little bit more, and feel good about it. And remember, never bow down, never bend the knee. Firmly defiant. Step up, stand tall, and get busy living your best life now. Always forward.